Uh-huh. This side is definitely swollen. Does it hurt when you swallow?
No. Mom, I'm sorry you mentioned it.
Honey, you're letting in too much air.
How can I tell when I'm in the air?
Don't talk.
Well, how's the patient?
She's got something. One of her glands is swollen.
Well, I don't know what you were saying, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
I'll bet $1 million it isn't 1 point over 98.2.
It's 99.8.
Pay up.
Ha
You have to stay home today, young lady.
Mom, I can't stay home.
I'm sorry, dear. There are just too many things going around. I'm going to call the doctor.
Oh, Mom, 99.8 isn't even a temperature. You'll laugh. Mom, maybe I'm just more warm-blooded than the average person. This is a disaster. I can't afford to miss school today, Papa.
You got a test?
No, but I have a dramatic club rehearsal and a meeting with the dance committee at lunchtime, and somewhere I've got to squeeze in my debating team partner.
And that's all?
Yeah, except for the jazz concert Richard's going to take me to tonight. So you see, Papa, I just can't afford to miss school today. Please explain that to Mom.
Well, your mother'd be a lot more sympathetic if you were worried about missing history, math, and English.
Papa, I don't have to worry about history, math, and English. They'll still be there when I get back.
Meet Kathy, who lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. Thought they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet,
The ballet russe and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves her rock and roll, the hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Yes, dear. Yes?
Mom, do you suppose I could come down and watch some television?
Oh, you know what the doctor said, dear. You're to stay in bed until he gets here.
Oh, that won't be until this afternoon.
Well, that's when he makes his house calls, if there's no emergency. Well, if you'll excuse me, honey, I've got a lot to do.
Mom,
Yes?
could I have a cheese sandwich?
After the big breakfast you had?
That was over an hour ago.
All right.
Mom, if you wouldn't mind another pillow, please.
Oh, sure.
Thanks, Mom. You're an angel of mercy. Mom, you may as well go all the way. Why don't you make one of those great grilled cheese sandwiches with ham and tomato and a little Worcestershire sauce? You know those special ones? And some milk, naturally.
Naturally. Anything else?
Yeah, some olives.
Is that all?
Oh, yeah. I don't want to be in any trouble, Mom. Mom!
Yes?
I forgot to ask you something.
What is it?
I don't want to yell. It might hurt my throat.
Okay, I'm coming.
Mom, do you think it would be all right if I used the phone?
I really think it would be better if you just rested. And besides, who are you going to call, dear? Everybody's in school.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If you'll excuse me, honey, I really have got an awful lot to do.
I know. Why don't you take my temperature again?
I really don't think it's necessary.
I know. I'll take my pulse.
Do that.
Oh, no!
Patty! What is it?
My nail is chipped. Mom, would you get me the nail file, please? Thanks, Mom.
Patty, why Why don't you make some phone calls?
But you said nobody'd be home. Doris Hartley's home with a broken leg.
Wonderful.
Hello, Mrs. Hartley. This is Patty. May I talk to Doris, please? In school? What about a broken leg? Oh, yeah, I guess 2 months is plenty of time for a broken leg to heal. So, what's new, Mrs. Hartley? The house must seem pretty empty without Doris around, huh? I got you out of where? Oh, well, you better put something on. You'll catch your death of cold, and then the house really will be empty. Hello? Boy, what a growl. Hello, is this Brooklyn Heights High School? Is this the secretary? Hi. I wonder if you'd do me a very large favor. Is the absentee list made up yet? Oh, good. Would you read it to me? No particular reason. I just want to see who's available for some phone calls. Me, I am, let's just say I'm a community-minded citizen who makes a hobby out of calling shut-ins. You're not allowed to give out students' phone numbers? I'll tell you what. Why don't you give me the numbers without the names? Hello? Gotta do something nice.
Natalie? So what's been going on around there? I've been trying to reach you for an hour.
I let Patty make some phone calls just to occupy herself.
Well, who's she been calling? Aren't all her friends in school?
Did you ever hear of the classified phone book? She's been poring over it like it was the Book of the Month Club selection.
In other words, she's feeling pretty good.
She's fine. Now ask me how I am.
Well, you were the one who insisted that she stay home.
Yeah. Honey, I haven't got any more time to talk to you. I've been trying to get the breakfast dishes done for the last 3 hours. But thanks for calling. It's good to talk to somebody without climbing the stairs. Bye, dear.
Goodbye.
Mom!
Yes?
Can I get up for a minute just to get something from my dresser?
Can it wait until I get there?
No, it's vitally important.
I'll be up in a minute.
Oh, Mom! Can I have an apple as long as you're coming up?
I am up.
Mom, there must be something wrong with this electric clock.
Why?
Because it only says 5 after 11.
Well, that's the right time. What'd you want?
My makeup tray inside. Boy, time certainly drags when you're home in bed.
Certainly does.
Mom, can I have some tissues over there? I thought we blew a fuse.
Not yet.
Oh, I guess I'll need my pencil sharpener for my eyebrow pencil. It's right there on the desk. Oh, and Mom, can I have the mirror over there on the dresser? Thank you.
What's all this for?
Well, I have to do something to keep me from going wiggy. Mom, are you sure we can't get the doctor here any earlier?
I told you he just doesn't consider this an emergency. That lot he knows.
Mom? There's no rush about the apple. Anytime you happen to be coming back upstairs.
I have a feeling it'll be soon. Here's your apple, dear, and I brought a few other things for the rest of the afternoon so I won't be... What are you doing covered up? What have you done to yourself?
It's the newest look. The magazine says it's going to be very big this year.
Where, in Hong Kong?
Look, this article says makeup can uncover your secret self. What do you think?
I think you should put the cover back on. I'll get you a washcloth. I think you're beautiful. All right, honey, here's a washcloth. Now get all that stuff up.
All for one and one for all. I'm just trying to keep my mind occupied.
Well, I don't suppose you'd consider doing a little schoolwork.
In my condition?
Scrub up.
The bill.
Hi, honey. No. You're not interrupting.
I just wanted to get your advice, Martin. Do you think it would be all right if Bob Holton came over to visit Patty? He's the president of the Dramatic Club.
Well, I really don't know.
It's just that she's anxious to find out what happened at the rehearsal, and frankly, I don't know what to say. What do you think?
Why don't you check the doctor?
He already left the office. She seems in very good spirits. And frankly, I'd welcome anything that would occupy her.
Well,
I just wanted to get your opinion. Thanks, dear.
anytime.
Well, how'd it go?
Well, what can I tell you, Patty? Without you, the rehearsal was a shambles, an absolute shambles.
Oh, gee, that's too bad.
Oh, try to get those kids quiet. I'm president of the club, and I'm playing the king. And they still wouldn't listen to me. Now, how can you do a play like St. Joan with everybody horsing around? Let's face it, nobody can keep those kids as quiet as you can.
Well, Bob.
Nobody can yell as loud as you can. I have to watch my voice. Well, soon, Patty.
I'm fine. Really fine.
Those are glazed fruit.
Glazed fruits, just what I love. You want one?
Hate him.
Oh. How about some nuts or stuffed dates or fruit or candy?
No, thanks.
What's in that box?
Forgot. It's the St. Joan wig.
Ooh.
I want you to try it on.
Okay.
You should have heard Gloria Peterson reading your part. It was really something else.
Was she really that bad?
Listen, you know in the play where I say, preposterous that this frail little girl should lead the armies of France.
Yeah.
It's preposterous, all right. She's 2 feet taller than me. Don't move. Don't move.
What is it, a bee?
You are she.
Who?
You are St. Joan. Listen, do you feel up to a little rehearsing?
I feel fine. Now, why don't we do the scene where the king comes to visit Joan in her cell?
Good idea. We haven't gotten to the meat of that scene yet.
I think we've gotten to the ham.
Please be serious.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I start, right? The king flatters me by his presence.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Give me a chance to get into the mood. I can't become a cruel tyrant like that.
I'm sorry.
I'm a bitter old man. Old before my time. Life is cruel. I'm unloved, despised, not well liked.
What play is that?
Now you broke the mood.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, that's the cell door. I'm just coming in. You are the king of France, even if you are bitter and old, hated and despised by friend and foe alike. But why are you hated and despised? Because you're rotten, because you're cruel, because you treat everybody wrong. If they're a true heart of gold, I'll be human being.
Bob? Bob? Bob, I think you went in the wrong cell!
Who's that?
Bob. He's my leading man in the play. Where'd he go?
At the front door. Hey, do you think you'll be okay without a keeper?
Ho, ho, ho. What do you want?
Freddie Marshall's here, and in case you don't feel well enough to see him, he sent these up.
Just after dinner, Mince.
Of course I feel well enough to see him. I have to talk to him about that speech for the debate. Hello? I got it, Mom. Oh, hi, Emma. How'd it go? Oh, you need my opinion, huh? Well, look, Freddie's here now, and Bob just left, and I doubt if he'll ever be back. Why don't you come by, and we'll talk about the dance committee in about a half hour. Okay, bye. Tell Freddie you can come up. You want one? One!
Dear, I just want to warn you, the doctor called. He'll be here at 4 o'clock.
Gee, Mama, I don't think I can work him in until 4:30. And so I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that my worthy opponents have utterly and completely failed to show us why the voting age should not be lowered. We of the affirmative, however, have amply demonstrated that today's teenager is fully equipped to take his or her place in the national scene. Yeah. And in conclusion, let me just say this. We teenagers are tired of being future citizens. We want to contribute here and now and not in the hereafter. I thank you. Hey, that speech is great, Freddie.
Thanks.
Now, what about your speech?
I'm working on it.
Oh, you better get cracking. The debate's Monday.
Hey, do you think you'll be all right by then?
I'm fine now, Freddie. The only reason I stayed home was because my mother insisted.
Nice. So nice. Oh, I really
Nat? What is all this?
What are you doing home so early?
Well, you called and said Patty was giving you such a rough time. I thought maybe I'd come home and help, but it's like a congressman's lobby. What are all these kids doing here?
Oh, they're waiting to see Patty. That's Bob. He's the president of the Dramatic Society. That's the dance committee. Richard, you know, the girl he's talking to is Gloria Peterson.
Who's the man on the phone?
The doctor.
The doctor? You mean you let Patty keep him waiting?
Of course not. He had to call his office. I was just going to go up and tell Patty that he's here and to get rid of Freddie.
Freddie?
Debating team.
Natalie, I don't understand you. I mean, how can you let all these kids come here when Patty is sick?
I asked you and you said it was okay.
Well, you mentioned one, not a whole congregation. Here, put that in the refrigerator, would you?
What is it?
That's some ice cream for Patty. I'm going up and clear out her room. Excuse me, girls. Pardon me, I'm coming through. Excuse me, fellas, I just live here.
You sure you don't want one for the road?
No, thanks. I really got to get going. Besides, it's too close to dinner.
Dinner? It's funny, I'm not even hungry.
So, do you want me to tell the dance committee to come on up?
Nope.
Hi, Papa. This is Freddie Marshall. He was just leaving.
I know he is. When you get downstairs, tell the rest of the group that visiting hours are over.
Oh, but Papa, I haven't seen the dance committee yet. And Richard's here, and I hear Bob got back, and Gloria Peterson. Boy, is she gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid the doctor takes precedence over all of them.
Oh, is he here already?
Yeah, I'm just going to bring him right up.
Papa, you want a chocolate-covered pretzel?
Lemonade?
Are you a loyal subject of the king? Are you a friend or foe? Are you with Joan?
No, I live here.
How long is Patty going to be tied up?
Till the doctor leaves, I guess.
Stand aside. I must take my leave.
Okay. But you better stop by the gas station and have them tighten your bolts.
Well, you must be a very popular young lady to judge from the number of visitors down there.
That's when she's homesick. You can imagine what it's like around here when she's well.
How's her pulse?
Perfectly normal for a girl her age.
Of course it's normal. I bet my temperature's normal, too.
Patty. Has it gone up?
No, down. It's normal.
See? Can I get up and get dressed?
As far as I'm concerned, you can.
You see, that's what we need in the world. More doctors like you. Mom, would you have...
You know it couldn't be anything too serious. I mean, she doesn't even have a temperature.
And I say she has.
But you heard the doctor.
Martin, I felt her forehead. Are you going to compare a thermometer with a mother's hands?
Risk being called un-American? Certainly not.
I guess I might as well forget about Patty going to the jazz concert tonight with me, huh?
Oh, I'm afraid so, yeah.
Poor Patty. She used to love jazz.
Richard, if you'd like to run on along home, I'll be happy to phone you later.
You mean you're throwing me out?
No, you can stay if you want to.
I sure would like to hear the doctor's verdict.
Well?
What is it?
The worst case of the sweets I've seen in a long time. You turn that candy store back into a bedroom and she'll be fine.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I'll take care of that right away.
You're welcome. Care for a chocolate-covered pretzel?
Thank you, Doctor.
Richard,
Yeah?
I want you to do me a favor.
You name it.
I want you to go to that jazz concert tonight with somebody else.
Oh, nothing doing.
Please, Richard. You can't tie yourself down to me. Not now.
Patty,
Richard, I'd feel much better if I thought you were having a good time.
well, what kind of a good time can I have without you? I might as well tear these tickets up.
No, wait. You sure you don't want to go without me?
I'm positive. Besides, who can I get at this late hour?
How about Gloria Peterson?
Patty, in the first place, she's too tall. And in the second place,
Yes.
you break my arm.
You better believe it.
There's only one girl I'm sure would be free now. And that's Dusty Higgins' kid sister. I guess she'd get a big kick out of going with me.
There, she sounds perfect. Why don't you take her?
Well, I don't know, Patty.
Richard, I insist.
But, Patty,
Please, Richard. I must rest now.
Oh, sure.
Richard,
Yeah?
you know, I finally understand what Joan means when she says in the play, only through our own suffering can we know the suffering of others. Do you understand?
Yeah. But I don't think the concert's going to be that bad.
You feeling better, honey? I'm glad that you told Richard to go to that concert with somebody else. That was very generous of you.
That's okay, Papa. I didn't see any point in wasting 2 good tickets. And Dusty Higgins' little sister will have a great time. You know, I'll bet it's her first date with a grown man.
Grown man?
Believe me, Papa, to a kid, Richard's a grown man. You know, I can still remember my first date with an older man. Up until then, I guess I had been to 2 Saturday movies with a boy. And one day, out of the clear blue sky, Jack Nordstrom called and asked me to go to the museum. He was ancient. Must have been 15. I almost fell off my shoes.
Patty, Richard's here. He forgot the tickets.
Ah, clunk. Oh, there they are. Would you give them to him, Papa?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd forget my head if it wasn't tacked on.
You said it, I didn't.
I'm sorry, Patty, but I gotta go.
Where's Dusty's kid sister?
She's waiting in the car.
Oh, why don't you bring her up? I'm dying to meet her.
Well, I know, Patty. You know how embarrassed she is. I mean, knowing that you're my girlfriend and, well, you know that whole story.
She must be excited, huh?
Well, you can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, I better get back to the car.
Richard? 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 She must be calling you because my name's Patty.
Huh?
Open the door, Richard.
The door? Oh, yeah, the door. Yeah?
You forgot my present for Patty.
Oh. She didn't know she brought you some candy. Well, I've got a split.
Richard, where are your manners? Ask her to come in.
Patty, it's getting late.
That's ridiculous. Come on in. Hi.
Patty, I would like you to meet Eve, Dusty's kid sister. Eve, I would like you to meet Patty, my friend.
Eve, I'd like you to meet Richard, the rat.
What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Okay, look at page 15, the third one down. Ralph Gilroy, yes, he's very good looking. Well, he's definitely another possibility. Patty, I don't know what this little tiff between you and Richard is about, but it's not a little tiff, and I really don't want to talk about it. All right. But you've only been not talking for 2 days. Do you think it's a little early to be looking for a replacement? Kathy, this is war. It's never too early to build up your defenses. Besides, Ralph Gilroy really digs me. How do you know? When a boy keeps hitting you and pulling on your hair ribbon, that's a definite sign. Your hair ribbon? Back in elementary school. No matter how many times I kicked him in the shins, he kept pulling on my hair ribbon. And then, one day, it happened. I knew it was love. What happened? He kicked me back. I'd better get dressed. Are you sure you don't want to go to a movie with Freddie and me? Uh-huh. All right, Patty. I understand. After all, Richard might call again, and then you wouldn't be here to refuse his call. Kathy, I assure you I'm above that childishness. Well, perhaps Richard has decided to stop phoning and make a frontal attack. He wouldn't dare. If that's Richard, you can tell him to go jump in a lake. He's all wet anyway. Who was it? Was it Richard?
No, but I think he sent you a box of candy.
You didn't accept it, did you?
Why not?
Well, you can throw it in the garbage can for all I care.
Throw it in the garbage can when I'm here? Oh, boy. Paul?
Is this 624-1098?
Oh, hi, Richard. This is Ross.
Oh, I thought I had the wrong number.
Hey, Rich, this candy is great.
Candy? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the candy. You mean somebody else sent this to her?
Ross, would you ask Patty if she'd please come to the telephone?
Sweets to the sweet. Al Cameraman.
What?
Richard, the next time you don't send a box of candy, would you call a guy and let him know?
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet,
The ballet russe and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves her rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Hello?
Hello, Richard? This is Ross.
Ross, can you talk a little louder?
I can't. That's the whole point.
Well, how's Patty?
Well,
Still sore at me, huh?
Rich, will you hold on a second? Patty! Phone! Patty! Phone call! Patty!
I'm coming.
I haven't got all day, will you?
I didn't even hear it ring. Hello?
Oh, boy, is that you, Patty?
Who is this?
It's me, Richard. Hello.
Goodbye.
What'd you do that for?
I told you I didn't want to talk to Richard if he called.
Sure, but he didn't call.
What?
I called him.
You... Yeah, and now he thinks that... Oh, how would you like a knuckle sandwich?
Don't flip your wig. I was just trying to patch things up.
What makes you think I want to be patched? Mom!
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
What's the matter?
Do you know what your son, the ankle biter, just did? He tricked me into talking to Richard on the phone.
Well, I think that was very sweet of him, and I think you're going to spoil your appetite for dinner.
How can you spoil something that's already spoiled?
Patty, since you haven't seen fit to confide in me, I don't know what this little spat between you and Richard is all about.
It's not a little spat.
No? What is it?
Nothing, Mom.
All right, darling, if you don't want to talk about it, that's up to you.
Where are you going?
Oh, I've got work to do.
Don't you want to hear what happened between Richard and me?
Well, I'm not going to drag it out of you.
You're not?
Certainly not.
Mom, why don't you sit down and I'll tell you. Remember last week when I had a date with Richard at the shake shop? I waited over an hour for him.
He was that late?
He was even later. He never showed up. And then the next day at school, somebody told me they saw him at the library with Cynthia Howard.
I see. Did he have any explanation?
Of course not.
He didn't say anything?
Who knows? I haven't talked to him since.
Well, dear, I don't think that's a very reasonable attitude. Suppose he can explain the whole thing. It might just be a misunderstanding.
You really think so?
Well, you'll never know unless you talk to him.
That's true. Maybe that's him.
I'm sorry, old timer, but all systems are no. Bye.
Who's that?
Richard?
Richard!
Yeah, and you saw me, Patty. I hung up on him as fast as I could.
Ross, I can strangle you!
What?
Mom!
9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 19, 25, 30, 34, 36, 39, 42, 47, 49. 40 carry. 4 and 3 is 7. 1 is 8, 13, 18, 20, 27. Do you want something, honey?
No. How's it all going?
Right now, it's quite a mess.
Well, I won't bother you.
28, 30, 30...
Was that the phone?
No, I think that was the timer going off in the kitchen.
Oh.
30,
Well, I really don't want to bother you.
4 and 3 is 7. 1 is 8, 13, 18, 27, 28, 37, 44, 52, 59...
Dear, may I interrupt?
Just a minute, honey. 59, 66, 74, 74 and 6 is 80, and 9 is 89, and... is it really that important?
It's about Patty and Richard.
66, 74, 80.
Martin. Martin, she's just miserable about the whole thing.
If she's so miserable, how come she went out with that cameraman boy the night before last?
That just proves that he's shorter than she is.
Natalie, that doesn't prove anything. Do you remember the 4th of July just before we got married?
When we weren't talking.
That's right. And you thought I was so miserable? Well, I dated Gladys Healy 3 nights in a row just to get even with her.
Martin Lane, you told me you stayed in your room and read poetry.
I did? 4 and 3 is 7. 18, 27, 28. 28, 37, 44, 52, 52 and 7,
Dad,
59.
you busy?
Very. 59.
Well, is it going to be long?
No, I should be through in a couple of years. 66.
Well, all I want
70...
is a quick yes or no. It's about getting an advance on my allowance.
72, 78.
I'm willing to pay interest
90,
on it.
97 and 7 is 100 and
Well, wouldn't you want a little extra
100,
income?
100 and
I'll wait until you're through.
4 and 3 is 7. 1 is 8. 5 is 13. 13 and 5 is 18. 18 and 9. Ross, would you get that phone, please?
And get my head chopped off again?
18 and 9 is 27. 28. 28 and 9. 28.
Why aren't you answering the phone? It might be Richard.
That's why I'm not answering it.
Hello? Oh, yes, he is. Just a moment, please. It's Eddie.
Sorry. Hi, Eddie. Yeah, I asked him. No, he wouldn't. I guess you'll have to go to the movies by yourself. Yeah, I know how it is. I don't like to go alone either. You want to come over here and maybe we'll hack around? No. Okay, it's up to you. So long. Changed your mind?
Changed my mind about what?
Who is this?
It's Richard. And Ross, before you hang up, would you ask Patty if she'd please come to the telephone?
Okay. Patty, Richard's on the phone. Patty!
I'm coming!
Here she comes.
You mean she'll talk to me?
Yeah, she's dying to talk to you.
Ross?
Here.
No. Hang up!
Hold on a second, Rich. There's been a little hang-up.
Now what? Did you hear what that little bleep just did?
Well, I thought you wanted to talk to Richard.
Not if he thinks I'm anxious to talk to him.
Martin, would you do something about this?
Patty, I hope you realize you're taking a risk.
What do you mean, a risk?
Well, as your mother will tell you, you can push a man only so far.
Believe me, dear, he's right.
Think I'm pushing?
As your father will tell you, a man has his pride.
Even Richard.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, Richard, but I just can't stand to hear a grown teenager cry.
Ross, don't hang up! You hung up.
Holy cow, isn't that what you just told me to do?
This is a fine time to start doing what you're told. Oh, what did he say? Did he say call back? Did he say anything?
He said he's coming over.
He is? So, he's coming over to apologize, huh?
I got news for you, pal. You got a wrong misimpression.
What do you mean?
Richard says that he left his notebook here last week. He needs it, and that's the only reason he's coming over.
Well, I got news for you, pal. That's just an excuse to see me. He didn't leave any notebook here.
Don't move.
In that case, he probably won't even come in, no less apologize.
I'm sorry, Patty.
It's not your fault, Ross. It's me. How can I hope to compete with a girl as cool as Cynthia Howard?
I think you're just as cool as she is.
Yeah? Am I just as pretty?
Would you rather be cool and pretty?
Thanks a lot.
Well, I didn't mean it. Well, as a matter of fact, I think that any boy that wouldn't go for a girl as pretty as you must be out of his tree.
Ross, that's the first time you ever said I was pretty.
Well?
Am I?
Patty, I wish I had $1 for every time I've heard a certain person say so.
Richard?
No, Mom.
Thanks a bunch.
Wait a minute. Why don't you try to make up with Richard when he comes over?
He's not even gonna come inside. He's just coming over to get his notebook.
How about, suppose if you can't find it?
Of course I can find it. It's right there.
Yeah, but you know how things have a way of disappearing around here.
Ross, that would not only be unethical, it would be wrong.
Wait a minute, Patty. I think I got a way to make it ethical.
How?
Well, if I hide it somewhere, you really won't know where it is.
That's collusion.
All right, how about this? What's collusion?
I don't know, but it means underhanded.
Okay, supposing you tell me not to hide it, and I hide it anyway. That way I'll collude and you won't have to.
Ross, you're a great rap.
Hey, wait a minute. I just had another idea.
What?
I mean, just as insurance.
Collusion insurance?
Yeah. If I went to the movies, you wouldn't be able to ask me where I put the notebook even if you attempted to.
Is that really necessary?
Well, I'm just thinking of your happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be better that way.
Okay, that'll be 75 cents for the movies and a quarter for popcorn. All right, forget the popcorn.
Oh, you look lovely, dear.
Are you sure it's not too much? I mean, I really want to play it cool.
Oh, you look great. I'm sure you win first prize.
What?
Aren't you going to a costume party?
Pablo, for your information... It's out! It's out!
Patty, don't rush.
I love the way she plays it cool.
Hi.
Good evening.
Did Ross mention...
Yes, he said you were coming by to pick up your science notebook.
Oh. Well, I guess I'll just wait out here then.
I'm very sorry, but we don't allow visitors to wait on the front porch, irregardless of whomsoever they might be.
What?
Come in.
that sure is a pretty outfit, Patty.
Well, this, I just didn't have a chance to get dressed.
Oh, you're going out?
I might.
Well, then I better split.
But I might not. So, why don't you just come in and sit down?
Boy, you sure look pretty, Patty.
I do?
And listen, Patty, about last week.
No explanation necessary.
Really?
Absolutely not. Where were you?
What do you mean, where was I?
I happen to know you were at the library with Cynthia Howard.
I wasn't with her. She just happened to be there. I mean, it's a free public library.
Oh, really? And when did you ever go to a free public library except to get warm? And what about our date to meet at the Shake Shop?
What's the matter with you, Patty? You were supposed to meet me at the library.
What?
Yeah, I waited over 2 hours for you.
You did? Under the circumstances, Richard, I feel there's only one thing I can say. I forgive you.
Boy, I sure missed you.
You did?
Yeah, it seemed like a year, you know?
I know. Boy, time sure doesn't fly sometimes.
Yeah, Patty,
Yes, Richard.
Holy cow! Time sure does fly sometimes. I gotta get that notebook and start cramming for that test on Monday.
But today's Saturday. You have 2 whole days.
I know, but I've been goofing off for 2 whole months. And my dad said if I don't bring my grade up, I've had it.
What do you have to bring it up to?
Anything that doesn't look like an F. Really, I gotta go. Could I please have that notebook?
Yeah, I think Ross said he saw it someplace.
See you later, Patty. Going to a movie.
Ross, wait a minute. Wait. Look, Richard needs that notebook. I mean, he really needs it. You know what I mean?
Certainly, Patty, and I sure wish I could help you, but I gotta get over to Eddie's.
No, I'm not kidding. He really needs it. Ross!
Well, that sister of mine is really great when she's putting on an act. You know, for a minute there, I thought she actually wanted that notebook.
You think hiding in the laundry bag was safe?
We'll find it there.
Anyone who's looking for dirty laundry. Hello? It's Patty.
Hello? Yeah?
Oh, Ross, am I glad I got you. Now you listen to me, and you listen good. Richard needs that notebook.
Patty, is Richard there by the phone?
Yeah.
For a minute there, I thought you were serious.
I am serious. Where is the notebook?
Boy, Patty, what a put on.
Ross, where is it?
Keep it up, Patty. Keep it up. You're doing great.
Ross, this is your last chance. If you don't tell me where that notebook is, I swear you'll regret it for the rest of your life.
You overdid it, Patty. And besides, I gotta go. Bye.
Ross!
Patty, instead of persecuting a poor kid, why don't we just look for the notebook?
You're right. I can always persecute him later.
I tell you what we'll do. We'll flip to see which movie we go to.
No, I'm willing to see whichever one you want to.
You are? Gee, thanks, pal.
The guest should never argue with the host.
Hey, wait a minute. Which one am I?
You're not paying for us?
Eddie, if I had enough money for 2, you wouldn't be one of them.
It's Ross's strong box. He keeps all his valuables in it. Here's some tools. Try and open it.
I don't get it. There's nothing valuable about a science notebook, particularly mine. You got a hairpin?
What do you need a hairpin for? You got all these tools.
Oh, I don't know, but that's the way they always open them in the movies.
Oh, here, let me try.
It's open.
Some safe cracker.
I don't see my notebook.
That rotten little kid. I knew he was loaded, and he took my 75 cents, and then he ran out on the whole thing.
What do you mean he ran out?
Well, you saw him, Richard. He just ran out right before your very eyes.
Yeah, but what you pay him for?
It's something personal. Let's just forget about it.
No, wait a minute, Patty. There's something here I'm beginning not to understand.
Mom, we're going to check the kitchen.
Okay, honey.
Natalie, this is ridiculous. We've looked all over the house for that stupid notebook.
Well, it's got to be here somewhere.
Yeah, but meanwhile, I haven't balanced my checkbook yet.
Well, then why don't you go back to it?
You don't mind?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Balancing a checkbook is more important than your daughter's happiness. Well, then go ahead.
Where do you want me to look?
Hey, wait a minute. There's something behind here.
Is that the notebook?
Well, move this a little, and I'll try and get to it. Are these the cigars Ross gave you last Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't smoke them.
I smoked one. Now, maybe I should raise his allowance. Boy, is he cheap.
What are you doing?
When Ross is old enough to smoke, he's going to get a nice present from his cheap father.
Check Ross's room again.
All right.
Oh, maybe you should check the basement.
Now you tell me.
Oh, and Martin, as long as you're going to be down there, would you please take this laundry and dump it into the washing machine and turn it on?
I'm sure it's safe for you to show up. Sure. Either they've already made up or they're never going to talk to each other again.
You mean that dumb brother of yours hid it, now he won't tell you where it is?
But I'm trying to tell you. I asked him not to tell me.
Well, what am I supposed to do now?
Keep your voice down. That's one thing you're supposed to do.
Oh, you're right. What an act.
That's no act. Come on, let's go get that notebook. Boy, I tell you, this is the last time I do anything for... It's not there. Look, do me a favor. Check my room while I check Patty's.
What does the laundry bag look like?
It's got big flowers all over it.
What kind of flowers?
How should I know? I'm not a florist. Keep going.
Oh, hi, Eddie. Is Ross home?
Yeah, we're looking for a laundry bag with big anonymous flowers on it.
Thanks for reminding me.
About what?
Oh, Mrs. Lane asked me to put that laundry in the washing machine. I forgot all about it.
Hey, what are you just standing there for? Why aren't you looking for the laundry bag?
Where should I? Your dad found it.
Found it?
Yeah, he just went down and put it in the washing machine.
And you let him? Boy, Eddie, you are...
What do you mean let him? It's his laundry.
Dad, wait!
Ross, Dad, you're not going to get away this time. Richard, you're
Patty,
another
let
Ross.
go.
Now, you listen to me.
Dad, don't put the
time. Where is that notebook?
Get out, Ross, you're starting to tick me off.
Did you call me Ross? I couldn't hear a thing with that washing machine going. What's all this yelling about?
Nothing, Dad, compared to the yelling you're gonna hear now.
It's pretty quiet in there.
Yeah. Either Richard is still mad and they're not talking, or they're not talking.
I don't think I've ever seen Richard so upset.
Well, do you blame him?
I think he could have been a little more gracious after we offered to make amends.
Yeah.
How are you boys coming along?
Just about finished.
Can you read it?
Well, it's certainly as legible as it was originally.
What's legible?
Well, it's the same as collusion, only not so underhanded. Forget it, keep working.
You're not scorching any of those pages, are you?
No, Mom, we get the iron set on rayon.
What about the cover?
Forget it. Come on, we better take these into Richard. Richard! Richard!
Yeah, Ross?
We got your notebook cleaned and pressed.
Gee, I certainly want to thank you, fellas.
You can read practically everything. That is, everything you could read before.
I'm sorry we got one of these pictures a little scorched.
Eddie.
Pictures?
Yeah, the ones of this girl.
Are they in there? You better let me have them.
May I see those? Thank you. Well, well, well. The many faces of Cynthia Howard.
No, wait a minute, Patty. Let me explain. When I ran into her at the library, she had these proofs from a photographer, and she asked me which one I preferred. When I couldn't make up my mind, she said, take them home, decide, let me know. You know, kind of sleep on it. I mean,
Is that how it happened?
I swear.
I think we better split.
Richard,
Now, wait a minute, Patty.
you said Cynthia gave you these pictures at the library that night. Now, we haven't seen each other since. Would you be good enough to explain to me how her pictures got in your science notebook, which was here all the time?
Now, wait a minute, Patty. You're mixing me up.
I'm not mixing you up. You were born that way. Good night. Now, don't say anything you'll regret. Just go home and think this over very clearly, and when you've got a reasonable explanation, call Cynthia Howard and give it to her.
I'm sorry, Patty.
Oh, that's okay, Eddie.
Thanks for not being sore.
It wasn't your fault. You did your best.
Patty, I just want to say that...
Who cares what you want to say? I'll never forgive you for this.
But I...
Never!
I'm going home.
I'm going with you.
Where's Ross going?
For a walk in space without a rope, I hope. Are you sure we didn't get him from a band of gypsies?
Well, I don't think it's fair to blame your troubles on him.
No, you're right. It's all your fault. Our fault?
How do you figure?
Well, if you two had been stronger 14 years ago when I was running around the house saying, I want a little brother, none of this would have happened.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. The Patties only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a
I don't get it. You and Dad are gonna live it up in the dining room and we gotta eat in here. What are we, peasants?
Ross, I wouldn't exactly call dinner for two in the dining room living it up.
Thank you, Kathy. And I want all of you to be especially careful not to get on his nerves tonight. Is that clear, Ross?
Sure. If I think of something that'll get on his nerves, I'll save it till tomorrow. Is that the idea?
Yes. No. Ross, your father's a little upset right at this time.
It's that circulation war with the Evening Express, isn't it?
So remember, I don't want to hear one word about the newspaper.
Hello, everybody. I'm home.
Oh, dear, when he sounds that cheerful, I know he's in a bad mood. Now, remember,
Not one word about the newspaper.
Hi, honey.
Hi there.
Gee, it's good to have you home early for a change.
Here, Uncle Martin, I'll take your briefcase.
Well, Kath, there's some papers in there I want to look at
Slippers are
before
right
dinner.
here, Dad. Here, let me help you all over here.
Son, what are you doing? Take it easy, will you? Ow! Ross!
Sorry about that.
Incidentally, the answer is no.
About what?
About whatever it is you're after.
Honey, he's just trying to be helpful. There. Comfy?
And we're not going to redo the living room now.
All I want is for you just to sit back and relax
Here's
until
your pipe,
dinner.
Uncle Martin.
Now, if there's anything you want, you just let us know.
I'm sorry.
All I would like right now is a little uninterrupted peace and quiet.
Hi, everybody. Are you ready for this? A candy striper's uniform.
They've accepted you at the hospital. Wonderful.
Yeah, Mrs. Williams, the head nurse, says it's going to be a lot more hard work than glamour, but who knows where it could lead. I might wind up in a jungle hospital.
We should be so lucky.
That'll be enough of that, son. Patty, I'm very proud of you. When did you get interested in being a nurse's aide?
Well, there was this newspaper article calling for volunteers.
Oh? I don't recall the Chronicle running anything like that recently.
No, I didn't read it in the Chronicle.
Patty.
I read it in the Evening Express. Yeah, Ma?
Forget it.
Meet Kathy, who lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. The Patties only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet.
The ballet russe and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll. The hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Well, why shouldn't I blow my stack, Jim? All I hear from you are excuses. Don't you think I got enough trouble with TJ on my back about the circulation problem? I don't see why I should have to tolerate this kind of asinine behavior from myself. Jim, I'm sorry. Forget the whole thing. If they dropped the front page in typesetting, I'm sure there was a good reason for it. Yeah, all right. Goodbye, Jim. Where was I now? Item 7, concerning the circulation problem. Oh, shut up. Oh, brother. Item 7, concerning the circulation problem. Perhaps the Chronicle needs a new image.
Papa, would you mind if I took a real quiet look at the medical encyclopedia?
No, go ahead.
Thank you.
Larger masthead, easier to read type, maybe greater photo coverage. Item 8.
Sorry.
What's that?
Oh, it's a spin... for taking your blood pressure.
A sphygmometer.
Yeah, I got it at a medical surplus store just in case there's an emergency at the hospital.
Patty, what kind of an emergency could there be where they'd allow a nurse's aide to take blood pressure?
An epidemic, maybe, if I'm lucky.
Item 8. How about doubling the size of the sports page? Item 9. Another possibility might be to lower all new subscription rates.
Oh, can I borrow your left arm?
What?
Well, you're only using your right hand, and I thought if you weren't using the other one, I could take your blood pressure.
Patty, I know what my blood pressure is. Boiling. Now, will you take that thing and get out of here?
Sure, Papa. Just thought you'd be interested in my career.
Oh, Patty, wait a minute. Look, honey, of course I'm interested in your career. I'm interested in whatever you're doing. It's just that there are times when life forces us to be more interested in other things, like making a living.
Pretty rough, huh?
Well, let's just say that if the Chronicle circulation doesn't improve, then T.J. Blodgett's disposition won't either. So I'm trying to do everything I can to come up with new ideas to hypo the sales.
How about a contest?
No, the Evening Express specializes in contests. They run every one in the book.
Yeah, but a medical contest?
A what?
A medical quiz. Every day you ask a different question about medicine, and then at the end of the month, the winner gets a groovy prize.
Like a free appendectomy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The general public isn't as interested in medicine as we specialists.
Yeah, well, look, Patty, I really got to get back to my memo, okay?
Sure, as soon as I finish taking your pulse. The duodenal ulcer is easily distinguished from the peptic variety by noting that...
Ah! Oh! That stupid skateboard, you dumb thing. Oh!
Ross, what happened?
Oh, I got a splinter on my finger from that stupid skateboard.
Ooh. Ross, when did you have your last tetanus shot?
My last what?
Never mind, we have to do something before infection sets in. What happened? Ross got a splinter in his finger. Kathy, would you get me the first aid kit in the bathroom and a needle and something to sterilize it with? Of course.
What? Hey, come on, you aren't gonna stick any needles in me. Not without a license, you aren't.
Ross, you just sit still and stop circulating your blood. It's bad for the infection.
What infection? I just got the splinter.
You don't know where that skateboard's been.
It's never been anywhere I haven't been.
That's what I mean. Here, Patty, here's the first aid kit. Thank you. Alcohol?
Hey, come on. Now,
Oh,
come on.
Ross, sit still and stop being such a baby. Now, give me the needle.
Hey, come on now. Let me do it myself.
Not Kathy, grab his other hand.
Ah!
Ross, can't you stand a little pain?
Yeah, but that was the wrong finger.
Patty, I heard a scream. What's the matter?
Nothing, Mom. Nothing at all. Accidents will happen.
Well, let's have a look.
Are you all right?
Oh, my ankle.
Oh, don't anybody touch him. He might be fractured. Just stay away. Let him breathe. Okay, now. Don't worry, Papa. I'll help you out. Let me see. Bandage, compress. Oh, darn, I don't have any splints.
Natalie, would you please call the doctor before she starts to operate?
Keep him quiet now. Boy, Papa, you sure were lucky. It says here, even a simple fracture of the abductor hallucis bone can take months to heal.
I'll bear that in mind. Next time I'm tempted to trip over a skateboard. Hey, where did Dr. Fenneman go?
He's talking to Mom.
You're sure it's nothing serious, Ralph?
Positive. I only wish I could be as optimistic about his general condition. I've never seen Martin quite so on edge.
These last few months have been impossible. Nights, weekends, he practically lives at the office.
What he needs is a nice long weekend in the country with plenty of quiet.
Now, in the middle of that awful circulation war with the Evening Express, he'd never go. He'd think he was deserting under fire.
Well, if he won't go away, let me see what I can do on the home front to get him some rest.
What's the verdict?
Well, you won't be doing any place kicking for the Giants, but I imagine you'll survive.
Now, that's what I told you over the phone. You didn't have to come rushing over here. I know how you live for those Friday night poker games.
I was getting lousy cards anyway. You probably saved me a fortune.
Good. You can take it off my bill. Anyway, Thanks very much, Ralph. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next month at the council meeting.
Make that tomorrow at the hospital. I want to take a few x-rays just to be on the safe side. And while we're at it, we might as well give you a complete physical.
What?
And with the weekend coming up, you'll only miss Monday at the office.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Oh.
So I'll see you there at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, brother.
Martin, stop grumbling and be grateful you have a doctor who cares.
Hey, Papa, you know what I just realized?
What?
Tomorrow's my first day at the hospital, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now you have 2 things to be grateful for. Hi there, Papa. It's time for your orange juice.
Oh, Patty, I'm not thirsty now.
Papa, let's not get off on the wrong foot. You need your vitamin C. Now, come on, drink up. I have lots of work to do. Sorry, Papa. Okay, there you go. It takes a while to get used to these things.
Patty, you can take it away now. I've had my orange juice.
Oh, good, Papa. There. Oh, Papa, you spilled it all over yourself.
Patty, you're a nurse's aide, aren't you?
Of course.
Well, shouldn't you be off somewhere aiding a nurse?
Well, no, this is my lunchtime. I can spend a whole hour with you.
You can?
Uh-huh.
Well, honey, I really got a lot of work to do.
Now, Papa, if I let you do any work, I'd be violating my Hippocratic oath.
That's Hippocratic, and I swear I won't tell a soul.
Papa, my orders are absolute rest. Now, how about a nice book?
I don't feel like reading.
Too tired, huh?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh, then I'll read to you.
No, Patty, I'm going to go to sleep right now.
Oh, good. You know, Papa, I read where 60% of the best... If you're looking for your briefcase, I took it for the duration. Pleasant dreams. Bye. Schroeder? Oh. Excuse me. We are Professor Schroeder, aren't we?
Well, I don't know about you, but the last time I looked, I was me.
What are you doing in the closet?
Who, me? Why don't you pull up a wheelchair and sit down?
In the closet? Isn't it a little stuffy in here?
Yeah. Stuffy, unprivate. That's what a man needs around here. A closet full of privacy.
So he can sneak a cigar against doctor's orders. Oh, I read your chart. Imagine a grown man like you sneaking off in the closet like a little boy to hide from the head nurse.
I thought it was pretty clever myself.
I think you should be ashamed of yourself. And what do you have to say about that?
I'm ashamed of myself.
Come on. Let's just come right out here and make ourselves comfortable. We'll sit down and we'll wheel right over there. There you go. That's nice. Come right over here and open the blinds.
Oh, please, don't open the blinds. From here, you can see the incinerator.
So?
You expect me to watch all that wonderful smoke pouring out of that chimney when you won't let me even sneak a teensy-weensy cigar?
Hello? Oh, hi, TJ. How's everything at the office?
Martin, I think I've got a hold of something big. Did you ever hear of a Professor Heinrich Schroeder?
Oh, yeah, he's a space scientist, isn't he? He's got a book coming out about how to colonize the moon.
Yeah, that's our boy. Martin, do you realize what a daily serialization of that book could mean to the Chronicle?
Yeah, 10,000 new readers, maybe 20. You mean you got it set up?
No, not exactly. I've decided to leave the details up to you, inasmuch as Schroeder checked into the hospital there this morning. Now, all you have to do is find out what room he's in, then you make your pitch, and then...
Oh, now, wait a minute, TJ. I can't go barging into a man's hospital room with a business proposition. That isn't ethical.
Who said anything about barging? Use your ingenuity.
Like what?
Like you used to when you were a young reporter, without ethics. Right.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Calling Dr. Paisley. Calling Dr. Paisley.
Papa, you know you're not supposed to be out of your room.
Oh, well, I just thought I'd stretch my legs. I mean, my arms. So I decided I'd better take a little walk. Ride.
Dr. Fenneman says you're supposed to stay off your feet.
I am off my feet.
I'm sorry, Papa, but rules are rules. Honestly, Kathy, he is positively the worst patient I've ever handled in my entire medical career. He won't stay still a minute. I can imagine. Patty, there must be something you can do to get his mind off the Chronicle. Yeah, but what? Perhaps it would be good therapy if you got him interested in someone else's problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. Of course, I don't know how you'd go about it, but... Oh, that's okay, Kathy. I'll figure it out. Papa doesn't know it, but he's about to get a crash course in instant therapy. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Hello, admissions desk. This is Mr. Lane in room 274. Say, I hear that an old friend of mine has just checked into the hospital. Professor Heinrich Schroeder? Oh, room 237. I wonder if you could put me through, please. Oh, he's not allowed to accept calls. Well, I guess I'll just have to write him a note then. No messages either. Well, excuse me, I'll have to hang up now.
Papa?
Huh?
I found someone to cheer you up.
Oh?
I'd like you to meet Mr. Peabody. Mr. Peabody, this is my father, Mr. Lane. Mr. Peabody came in with the same problem you have, a sprained ankle.
Oh, really? Well, of course, Mr. Peabody, I didn't really sprain my ankle. I just twisted it. I'll be walking out of here first thing Tuesday morning.
That's what I thought, till the complications set in.
Complications? What kind?
Who knows? They ain't been able to find them yet. 6 weeks ago, I come here a healthy man. Now look at me. Even my hair hurts.
Now, Mr. Peabody, you just stay here and have a nice long chat with Papa. It'll be good for his morale.
Nice girl you got there.
Thank you.
Hope you don't catch anything working around here. Not for germs, you know. And that was just the beginning. 3 years ago, I come here with an ingrown toenail. Would you believe it? Inside of 12 hours, they was blaming the whole thing on a busted collarbone.
I don't know. Well, Patty was sure right about one thing, Mr. Peabody. You've had an amazing effect on my morale.
Always glad to help a fellow sufferer.
Believe me, Mr. Peabody, I'll never forget you for this. Now, I hope you don't mind if I get you started on your way. See, I think I'd like to be alone for a while I make out my will. Goodbye, Mr. Peabody. Hello. Oh, yeah. Hello, TJ. Well, no, I haven't. Not yet. But you only called an hour ago, and I... Yes, TJ, I know they can circle the Earth in 90 minutes. But it just so happens I don't have a booster rocket on my wheelchair. TJ, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to hang up. Goodbye.
Papa?
Huh?
I brought a visitor by for you. I thought you might be bored, so this is Peter Mason, and he's come by to cheer you up.
Hi, Mr. Mason.
No, I think you're Mr. Mason.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Mr. Mason is a poet.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He hasn't had anything published yet, so I thought maybe you could give him some advice.
Yeah, well, I'd be very happy to.
Well, it just so happens I have a sample of my work right here, Mr. Lane. It's a short history of Liechtenstein.
Well, that's a very impressive piece of work, Mr. Mason. 857 pages. If you spread them all out, they'd be larger than the whole country.
He's very amusing, Patty, just like you said he would.
Well, I'm very sorry, Mr. Mason, but I really don't have time to...
But they're very fast reading, Mr. Lane. It's all in verse. A Short History of Liechtenstein by Peter Mason. Once upon a time, there was no Liechtenstein. It was just a bunch of scenery with idlewives and greenery. Everywhere were castles run by knights and vassals. In winter they were frozen because they dressed in lederhosen. And from the mountains to the valleys, with beer and sometimes wine, they toasted the new nation, and they called it Liechtenstein. What do you think?
Well, there's a lot to digest.
Oh, you want me to read it again?
No. I'll tell you, Mr. Mason, I think what we'd better do is just give me a little time to cogitate about it, and maybe we could talk it over on Tuesday, late in the day.
Okay, because I want to get started on my next history. China. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Lane, for all the wonderful help. Goodbye. Get well.
For heaven's sakes, TJ, will you give me a chance? I was just on my way out the door to talk to the... Natalie?
Martin, what's the matter, dear? Why are you so upset?
It's your daughter, the poor man's Florence Nightingale.
What has she done?
You mean, what hasn't she done? In the past 4 hours, she has deluged me with a parade of characters that would make your hair stand on end. Natalie, I swear, if she comes through that door with one more crackpot, I'll call you right back.
Hi, Papa.
You're just the young lady I want to talk to, Patty.
Oh, good, but first I'd like you to meet one of the most interesting men...
One moment. Pardon me, sir, but this is a private conversation.
Oh, yeah. Far would it be for me to intrude between a father or his daughter, especially such a charming daughter. But if you'll take my advice...
At the risk of being rude, I don't want your advice.
Papa.
Oh, that's all right, Liebchen, I understand. What I wanted to say was...
I don't care what you wanted to say, sir. Would you kindly leave? I'd like to be alone.
Don't worry. With your disposition, that should be easy. It's lucky that girl takes after her mother.
If only unmitigated gall. He comes barging into my room and he insults me.
Don't blame him. It was my fault. I thought you'd be delighted to meet a nice man like Professor Schroeder.
Patty, at this point, I wouldn't be delighted to meet the... Professor Schroeder? Heinrich Schroeder?
Yeah, that's him. He's a pretty big wheel, you know.
Now you tell me. Patty, I've been trying to talk to him all day. I've got to find him now. Professor Schroeder, sir, just wait a minute. Sir, please, I've got to explain. I'm terribly sorry about what just happened.
Finally got him interested in somebody else's problem.
I must say, Professor, it was very generous of you to accept my apologies for our little misunderstanding the way you did.
Well, if there's one lesson I've learned in life, it's never to trust first impressions.
I'm glad you feel that way. Now, what about the Chronicle's offer to serialize your book?
Okay. I make you a wager.
How do you mean?
A bet. You win this game, and I give you what you want.
Really? Gee, that's very sporting of you. Very generous.
Not at all. Because I think in 3 moves, I got you beat.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't think so.
No? Why not?
Because in 1 move, I've got you checkmated.
No.
Yes?
Ah, show me.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but the game is over. It's time for supper.
My dear friend, I am a man of science. I have been around the world, and I have seen many things. And this I say only to you. Boy, have you got a problem.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. The Patties only sing the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike.